Hello there, guys, and welcome back to my channel for a live reaction and player ratings live stream following Chelsea 3, AC Milan 0. You know what? Fair play, Aaron. My guy got the prediction spot on yesterday, and I was sat here laughing at him. I was like, no chance. And look at him go. I am so pleased. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, Reece James owns the whole city of Milan. I mean, he absolutely pocketed the lot of them. Absolutely mental. What a guy. Best right back in the world. I mean, he's only, unfortunately, he's a right back, because if he was a different position, we were talking about the best player in the whole world. I'm getting ahead of myself now, but I'm just gassed, all right? Let me be gassed. First clean sheet since the first game of the season. First time we won a game by more than 2 goals since March, when we beat Lille, also funnily enough, 3-0 in the Champions League. My days, I'm over the moon. Aubameyang gets another goal. Fofana gets a goal. Then gets injured, unfortunately. We'll get to that in a little bit. But my days, I'm just so happy. I'm just so happy, honestly. Pice, thank you for being here as always, bro. I appreciate it. I think today we're just going to have a good time, really just basking in our glory, I think, because that was just wonderful.
Well, it was beautiful. 3-0. You know, maybe I need to start being more negative with the scorelines, because it seems when I predict a win, we don't win. So, you know what? Next preview, 1-0 Wolves, and we'll win 4-0 this time. So, yeah, brilliant. Really gassed. I thought we played pretty well, to be honest. I thought, you know, the second half was a little bit more laboured, but I mean, we got the goals in there. So, yeah, look, AC Milan were a decent team. They caused us some problems early on in the game. They had a lot of possession, actually, which I didn't think they would have. But yeah, I mean, we got the job done, and I feel like we also maybe could have scored a couple more situations at least, where maybe, you know, the right ball or something. But look, yeah, we're not even in absolute top gear. We've just beat AC Milan 3-0. So I think that's the most important thing, and also the fact that we could actually rest some players today as well, which is really nice. I thought really good substitutions, a use of subs from the manager today.
Absolutely, I completely agree. I was going to say that later on, 100%. It's weird because the first 10-15 minutes I put it in a group chat, and I tweeted it as well. I was like, we haven't been dominated by a team like other than City in God knows how long. And when I said that, I didn't mean they absolutely played us to shreds. But no team does. Do you know what I mean? Like, other than maybe sometimes City, but essentially no one just rips us to shreds. That just doesn't happen to us. So obviously there's one-off games, but in terms of when we actually play reasonably okay, then no one just dominates us. And like Pi said, Milan had off the ball, and I feel like a lot of their percentages that they had by the end of the game came from the first 15 minutes of the game. But they just passed it around. They didn't do anything, but they just passed around, and we didn't really try to win the ball back. We'll get to that later, and I tweeted it during the game as well. I was very surprised by and that's the important thing, a lack of press, but by our clearly instructed lack of pressing, because it wasn't like the players couldn't be bothered to press. We were clearly told when and when not to press, and we basically didn't press them at all in their own final thirds. And basically, even in Milan's half, we kind of left them alone, which we don't usually do. Maybe it gives us a little bit of extra energy in other phases of the game if we don't, waste so much energy trying to press. But it was interesting. There seemed to be quite a lot of focus on just, keeping stability. And once we get the ball, we do our thing. We don't, try too crazy and basically already winning the ball back too high up the pitch and stuff. It was very interesting. And also, now when the lineup was initially released, the word is probably uninspired, because it was basically the same team I would nearly expect Thomas Tuchel to pick. Now, maybe someone different, like probably he picks Mendy over Kepa, and maybe he picks a couple of other players in minor positions. But in general, formation, 3-4-3, personnel as well. I was like, what's the whole point? But we played it very differently. Now, not for the whole game better, but we just looked like a team that, I don't really know how to word it. I don't know. Obviously, we got a goal and we didn't concede a silly goal today, which always helps confidence. But we just looked like we knew what we were doing today, other than when Chilwell played a few weird passes. I'm like, wait, there's no one there. Why'd you pass there? There's that. But, is that just me, Pi? So did we also feel like a team that, I don't know, we seemed a little bit calmer today as a team, and I feel like that made us better as a team, if that makes sense?
Yeah, potentially. I think the fact also we didn't have a lot of the ball, I feel like we could concentrate a little bit more. And you could see definitely defensively, like, Thiago Silva and stuff, and Reece James. Just the whole defense I thought was pretty decent. Early on in the game, like the first 10, 20 minutes, there was a couple of mistakes. Koulibaly was a bit rash, but I think it was a pretty controlled performance in the end. I think once we got the second goal, it was really like, oh yeah, that's pretty much it. And I think AC Milan, they did press a lot when we was on the ball, but I think once that second goal went in, it was pretty much game over. And it shouldn't be, to be fair, because you can always come back from 2 down. But
yeah, and then once it was 3, they even took all their best players off.
yeah, so I think we just did really well, and I think the subs definitely helped as well in terms of just freshening things up and keeping the ball. Bringing Jorginho on in a game where the other team's not attacking is always a very good thing for keeping the ball and stuff. So yeah, I thought it was a decent performance. The reason why I'm so happy, to be honest, is because I don't like, even though I'm gassed, and I am, trust me, 3-0 was great. Like, I don't even think we played like top gear football. Like, there was moments, obviously the Mason Mount disallowed goal, fucking brilliant goal, great ball from Alba, great link up, but like, it wasn't like we did that all game. There was only a real couple of moments, and we still won 3-0. So how can you not be gassed about that? That's only positive for me, that we can get even better from that.
Absolutely, I think it's a good point as well. Like, we were good, but we weren't like, our performance maybe didn't scream 3-0, but we still fully deserved to win 3-0, if that makes sense. But we didn't, like, because in certain spurts of the game, we were just so incredible that's how we got our goals. But there were certainly parts in the game where we were just decent. Do you know what I mean? We weren't ever bad in the game, other than maybe the first few minutes, like you said, Koulibaly coming in like 3 fouls in the first 3 minutes, which I'm like, bro, calm down. Like, calm down. Thankfully, he did calm down, so that's great. But I think one other thing that's important to mention as well, Milan have a lot of players injured, especially that side where we, basically took them apart completely, their right side, is where they have all of their players missing. Like, obviously, Theo Hernandez being there, not being there, makes a massive difference. At right back, Serginho Dest, he's not even their second choice right back. Well, who knows with Florenzi, because he obviously got injured very early in the season anyway. But yeah, they have a lot of players missing. So we shouldn't get ahead of ourselves and think we're not like all of a sudden the best team in the whole world. But it's a step in the right direction. And that's basically what I wanted to see after Saturday. Because on Saturday against Palace, I was like, okay, we won the game late on. It was scrappy, fair enough. But we got the win. Because too many times previously this season, we didn't get that win. And we could never build, right? Build confidence, build momentum. And this time we used the Palace game. Now, obviously, let's hope, fingers crossed, we don't ruin it again against Wolves on the weekend. But in general, like, we took that win against Palace, built some momentum, took some confidence, and built it even more today with a 3-0 win. That will do wonders to the entire team, honestly. Before we get into player ratings itself, I want to basically just highlight my favorite player. Now, Ruben as well. But, him and Ruben are my favorite players. And now, shout out Pice, your Twitter, because you put the nice stats there. Because if I only do it once we get to his player ratings, then I need to take the one thing off the screen, get the other thing on the screen. So I might as well just start with this now. 2 goals / assists, so 1 assist, 1 goal. 4 out of 6 long balls, 2 out of 3 tackles, 100% dribbling success, 11 recoveries, 7 out of 11 total duels, 1. Driven past just once, that was a bad occasion, and in my opinion, you should have done better there with Rafael Leao. But still, Rafael Leao is also a player and a half, and if we can actually get hands on him, we need to. Like, he didn't have his best game in the world, but you watch him, and when I watch football and I'm scared of an opponent's player, I know they're good. Now, you might disagree with my opinion, but when I see a player and I'm like, oh, he might do something here. Only players that are good make me feel that. Now, I could be wrong, but I felt that. And I was like, oh, if we can actually get the guy, get that shit done ASAP. But Reece James, man, like, I find the UK media scene so hilarious. Like, I understand the outrage that Trent maybe doesn't play at all, and then Southgate said Trippier is maybe even better than Trent. Now, I understand the outrage of that. Even I would be a little bit confused by that. But the fact that not everyone has by now understood, accepted, and realized that Reece James is not just a little bit better than Trent Alexander-Arnold, but literal miles better. That's the part I don't understand. Name me one right back that's better. I can't think of one. I mean, Carvajal was good about 5 years ago. Still decent, but, And then who is there? Hakimi? My guy. Get in the bin. The guy doesn't even know how to spell the word defending. Do you know what I mean? Reece James is clear And I love it. What a man. What a player. Honestly, that finish, the celebration. I love everything. I love absolutely everything about the guy. Pice, I mean, it's your tweet. What a player, I mean, Cancelo, okay, but he basically always plays left back. But if he were to play right back,
Cancelo is fantastic going forward, but he gets exposed defensively. Reece James is not only the best defensive right back, right wing back, whatever you want in the world. He's amazing going forward. I read a tweet. I think it was from I can't say their name, but it's a stats account. Something like Squawker. I don't know.
Yeah,
those. I think it was them who posted since the start of last season. No one has got more goals and assists in defence than Reece James. Not Cancelo, not anyone, not Trent. Reece James has got the most. And I read that and I was like, right.
And you're including assists, not just goals. So it's
goals and assists, I believe. Yeah. And I've read that and I was like, right, so he's got that top, but he's also the best defensively. Like, I'm not being biased here. He is the best defensively. Just watch him. Like, bro, I thought Leao was going to click him at least 4 or 5 times tonight. Like, if I'm being 100% honest, from the way he started with his pace and stuff. But, like, it's just ridiculous, man. Leao got subbed off. It's just, I don't understand this guy. Reece he just gets better every single game. Even in games where he's in second, third gear, he still is just so good. Like, he does something, you know what I mean? Like, he's just brilliant. Like, it's just crazy, man. I'm out of words for him, to be honest. He's still so young as well. Thank God he signed that new 5-year contract, because every single team in the world would love to have this guy in their team. He is that good. He's special, man. He's truly special. I can't state it enough.
Absolutely. And see what M. Lee says here. I'm not trying to disrespect Trent at all. In terms of offensively, and if we're honest, probably even better as a midfielder, the guy's a wonderful footballer. He's just not a good defender. And the problem is he plays as a defender. And now Liverpool can compensate that often, but when they're not in their top form like they are right now, that's when that becomes a problem. When they're flying, that's not a problem. It's like City's defender sometimes not being the best. Isn't a problem for City because they dominate every game so much. It doesn't really impact them that much. And when you have Haaland who scores a hat-trick every game, it doesn't matter if you concede a goal or two. I mean, he conceded 3 goals to Man United. Who does that? Do you know what I mean? Think about it. But it doesn't matter because they scored 6. So it depends on how good a team is, how much it matters, how good a player is defensively. And it's just wonderful. But let's get to that lineup screen, mate. And let's talk about our feelings when the lineup came out. I know you shared some feelings of myself that you just did, or I, like I said earlier already, I just didn't find it particularly inspiring. Like I said, I was like, well, might as well have been Thomas Tuchel that played the team, obviously with Jorginho and Havertz not being fully fit, and Kante not being fully fit, and Cucurella not being fully fit. This is probably the team that Thomas Tuchel would have put out all the same. Maybe with Mount and Sterling the other way around, but otherwise, probably that team, aside from the goalkeeper. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into this, 377 of you watching, which I very, very much appreciate. At least the reviews, the player rating streams still do normal. Even if YouTube screwed all the other streams, at least these two, okay. So appreciate you all being here. Appreciate it very much. Please do subscribe and hit the notification bell button as well, because there seems like a lot of you are not here when we do like previews or new streams. So hit the notification bell button. I mean, if you don't want to be here, fair play in it. I'm not forcing you to anything. But maybe you don't even know that I'm actually live. So hit the notification bell button so you get notified when we actually do go live. Maybe you'd enjoy it. But yeah, smash the like button as well. Just one click of a button. Doesn't cost you any money or any time. But yeah, on the road to 20,000 subscribers, please do subscribe. I'd massively appreciate it. But Pice, thoughts to the team when it came out? And then, well, I guess we were mostly sure that it was going to be a 3-4-3. But I suppose there was a small chance it could have been a 3-5-2 as well. And it wasn't in the end.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm going to be totally honest. I didn't think it was a good lineup. Just in terms of like the way we set up, I thought, 3-4-3, like it was just a bit sort of like I expected a 4 at the back in this game tonight, even more than Palace, to be honest. Because Palace, first game after international break, you think you might play it a little bit safe, maybe go for a 3 at the back or something. But to go with a 3 at the back at home in a must-win game against AC Milan, I was like, yeah, this is just shite, to be honest. I think is what I called it. But look, at the end of the day, look, as long as we win, we played decent. I'm a happy person, and it seems he got it right tonight. So fair play. I don't think, as I said before, I don't even think we was in really sort of probably, we definitely weren't in first gear, and we still played some decent football with this team. So Yeah, look, I guess the only downside is when we play a three at the back. Well, I mean, we did have a lot of possession under Tuchel, but tonight we seemed to, at least for the first half, I thought, are we trying to counter-attack them or something? Because I
In
don't
the
know
end,
whether
by the
that's
way, we
just how
had
the game went.
51% of possession, so we just edged it in the end.
Yeah,
But
I don't know whether that's just how the first half went or not, but that seemed to how the game was going. And yeah, I just think we was a little bit surprised. I was a little bit surprised we went with a sort of three centre backs in this game, because I don't think we predicted that.
no.
If anything, so yeah.
And most definitely, like, maybe I saw that coming if Cucurella doesn't start, that we still play these three centre backs. But then I still kind of expected Sterling in this wing back role, like Trossard at Brighton, and like Sterling did against RB Salzburg in Graham Potter's first game. But it was like literal a proper 3-back, 2 wing backs with Chilwell and Reece James. So it was interesting. But hey, in the end, we can't complain, can we? Like, we won 3-0, so fair play. But let's talk about the goalkeeper. Now, Graham Bailey, I'm not sure how reliable he is, but I swear I saw a tweet from someone that he said before the game at some point that basically Mendy is not necessarily the number one anymore. He didn't say that Kepa is the number one, but he said that Mendy is not the clear number one anymore. Kepa was in goal still today. Now, whether he will still be in goal in the weekend is a different question, because maybe Mendy wasn't fully fit yet. But with how Kepa keeps playing, I mean, he only had one save to make, but that was a very good save, and he made it. His distribution was, again, very good. And he just looks so confident. He looks so commanding all of a sudden. And he, like, how he talks to everyone. And I think this whole time on the sidelines, whether it was behind Mendy and also when it started behind Caballero on the Lampard, I think Kepa learned to be a real leader. And I think having lost Rudiger, I think that could be a big benefit in having him, because Mendy is a lot of things. When he's on it, a great goalkeeper, but not very vocal. And I think because Thiago Silva's language still isn't obviously perfect in English and stuff, I don't know how loud of a guy Koulibaly is, but he seems like a bit of a quiet guy. So having lost Rudiger, I think having still that commanding personality around, maybe that could be Kepa. I don't know, because you said it, even though you also said you're not a big fan of either, if you're being perfectly honest. But you also said you think Kepa maybe just suits Potter better. And, well, it's only been 3 games, of course. Is Mendy vocal in your opinion, Saiga? I'm not sure if he's quite as vocal as Kepa is. I can't lie. But obviously everyone will have their own opinion on that. That's absolutely fair. But yeah, I mean, I think Kepa will keep his spot at least until he starts making a mistake. But until then, I'm pretty sure Kepa will stay in goal. How do you feel about it? And then as well, might as well lead it into how he did.
So what was the question? Just about, like, I heard the confidence thing and the whole leader thing.
Yeah, basically. What do you think of Kepa potentially becoming the number one now, and just how he played today as well?
I mean, the way he answered the question yesterday in the press conference was he was almost hinting that he might rotate them a little bit, because he said, like, look at our schedule over the next 6 weeks. Like, I want to make Kepa happy playing football, but also, he was saying, like, Mendy's been the number one and things like that, I think he said. So I feel like I almost hope he doesn't do this, because I'm not a big fan of switching your keepers out. But, we'll see what happens. I think he definitely could keep his spot. I mean, there's no reason why he shouldn't. But I mean, I said this, and one of my biggest sort of gripes with Tuchel, especially towards the sort of latter end to his tenure here, was I feel like when Mendy was not performing, I feel like he should have dropped him, and he just always stuck by Mendy. And I said on so many streams that Mendy could actually do some good. Like, it could do some good for him by dropping him even if it's for 2 games or something. But if Mendy, I just want to, like, see him out for a little bit. And I feel like if Mendy then comes back in, I don't know, he may just kill his confidence even more. But I feel like we'll see more like the old Mendy if he loses his spot, because I feel like he's personally been just too safe. Like, no matter what, he could make any mistake, he would still stay in under Tuchel. And with Potter, I don't know if it's going to be like that. So yeah, I feel like this could do some good with him being out for a little bit.
I do agree. But yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I think Kepa's only disadvantage compared to Mendy is his lack of height. I think Kepa can compete with Mendy in pretty much everything else. It's just the lack of height. And Mendy is very good at getting down very quickly, considering he's a tall goalkeeper. He's very good at that. It's a big strength of his. Which obviously usually would be the strength of smaller goalkeepers. Okay, they might not reach the top corner as well, but they're better on the ground usually. But because Mendy's very good at that anyway, you don't really see that as an advantage to Kepa, because it isn't. But yeah, I mean, I'm a fan. Now, today wasn't a particularly difficult game for Kepa because he only had to make one save, but that save was very good. So on the basis of that, I'd probably give him a 7. I think he didn't have to do enough to give him any higher than that. But what he had to do, he did very well. Distribution, like I say, good. And yeah, just positive. Would you go along with the 7 or would you even go higher? I could do 7.5, but I think we can't do 8.
Yeah, I'd probably go 7. I mean, I want to disagree with you a little bit. I think the save was all right, but he did palm it straight out, and it should have been an easy tap in to the guy. So
that is true, but
but
because it's such a reaction save, I don't think.
Yeah, maybe I'm being.
You
a bit
can't
harsh.
control where
know.
the ball bounces after because it's just stretching your arm out as quickly as you can. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose I'll go 7. I thought he was decent on the ball as well tonight, which was.
By the way, Pice, did you realise, because you said it there, should have been a tap in after? I thought the guy just skied it, but they got a corner.
Yeah, I did. I said.
Was it wrong?
I said to my brother,
the ref to give a corner, and if not, who blocked it or saved it? Like, what happened?
I literally, it's so funny. I said to my brother, "Wait, they've got a corner from that. How? Like, he just skied it." My brother was like, "What the fuck?" So yeah, yeah, we was baffled at that as well. There's no way.
I mean, maybe Kepa made an absolute wonder double save that no one knew about, but I think the guy just skied it and the ref got it wrong personally. But who knows? But fair enough. 7 for Kepa. I think we're all going to be happy with that. Let's move on then, and shall we just do Fofana? Also, by the way, from the press conference message from Graham Potter is we're having a scan on Fofana tomorrow. The one disappointment of the evening. Yeah, that's not ideal. Oh, okay. And Nizar Kinsella also just posted a picture of Fofana in a knee strap, like a bad knee strap and no crutches. So that's not good.
Okay, no, mate.
That's you know what? I get that tweet up in a second. Actually, let me get it up. But yeah, that's not ideal. I was so happy for him when he got his goal as well. And what a scrappy goal it was. I was so happy for him when he got that goal. And obviously, it was only the other day when him and Aubameyang did that video, and they were talking about Aubameyang was like, "Well, what's your celebration?" He's like, "I don't have one. I don't score." He's like, "Well, you will now," type thing. But he basically hadn't scored a Premier League goal yet. So also for Leicester, he hadn't scored a Premier League goal yet. Now, obviously, it wasn't Premier League tonight either. But still, I was so happy for him. Now, I didn't have one dodgy moment where Thiago Silva bailed him out, but to then pick up that injury, and I already when it was happening, I was like, "Oh, I hope that knee's okay," because he straight away grabbed to his knee, and as you can see on screen now, like if we look at that knee strap, it's not one of the nice ones. It's not one of the easy knee straps, so not ideal, But performance-wise,
fucked, mate. Honestly, we are fucked.
No. Be positive. Come on, back Chalobah.
Oh no, he's all right, but it's just Aspie's going to play as well, and it's just we're going to go and buy another bloody defender in January because this obviously is not going to be good.
Just going to play a back 4 more often, mate, and then it's fine.
Oh.
With Koulibaly.
What is our luck?
And Thiago Silva and Chalobah. Well,
just bloody sign them as well. This is just...
Yeah. And no, Adam, he doesn't have an injury with that knee. As far as I'm aware, he's never had a knee injury, actually. Like, obviously, he broke his leg, but that was nothing to do with the knee. I'm not sure if that was the same leg or not. I have no idea. But it was not a knee injury in the past. So that is obviously very unfortunate. I mean, there's still hope. Maybe it's just like rather than a completely torn ligament, maybe it's a slightly, I don't know the exact word of it, but like where it's a tear rather than completely torn, and those heal a lot quicker. So I don't think we should jump to conclusions just too quickly. We will find out over the next few days, the latest on Friday, what the situation is. But yeah, it doesn't look ideal. It obviously only played half an hour or so until he had to come off. But what did you make of that half an hour? And obviously getting the goal, and not just any goal, the crucial 1-0 as well.
Sorry, what was that? You cut out a little bit.
Oh, sorry. Basically, just what did you make of Fofana? And obviously, that he didn't just get a goal; he got the first goal, which was very important in that game.
Yeah, I thought it was a composed finish, to be honest, right in front of the goal. Thought it was dececent.
Even though he stole the goal from Ruben, who was just swinging his foot to shoot as well, so that was a bit.
He made one, I think, error where he came out, and I think he lost the ball. I think that was him, wasn't it? Towards the early part of the game,
pushed him in the back, and he kind of fell over. And I'm like,
yeah, thought he was decent. I'm just total down, and now I've seen that picture, but yeah, I'd probably go 7.5 to be honest, just because I don't think obviously Milan attacked that much, and obviously he had to come off early.
Even though he started, we can almost do this as a star rating, like a sub, because he obviously was done after half an hour.
Yeah, could do. Yeah, I'll go 7.5.
All right, I'd probably go 7. But because he got injured, I'll give you the 7.5. Do you know what I mean? Feel bad for him. Why don't we just stick with the guy that replaced him, Chalobah? Now, we touched on that one time Leao got past Reece James. He also got past Trevoh Chalobah. But otherwise, I think Chalobah dealt with things really, really well. Now, again, it wasn't the most difficult evening for any of our defenders, if we're being completely honest, because Leao only had a couple of moments. But Chalobah did well. I thought did well with the ball at his feet. Did well defensively when he had things to do. Tried an overhead kick, even though he put it into Rose Ed. So obviously didn't get a goal. Hence why, okay, if we gave Fofana 7.5, I'd give Chalobah a 7. I thought he was good. What did you make of him, bro?
Yeah, I thought he was pretty decent as well. I mean, he's gonna. It's funny how football works, right? You know, pretty much gonna leave in January, and now he's probably gonna play a lot of games, I would imagine. So good thing for him, but it's just a shame it was in the expense of an injury. But yeah, I thought he did well coming on, especially because he didn't play in a while. So
yeah,
I thought he was.
Were you
just
surprised,
quite
by the way, that it was Chalobah that came on and not Aspie?
A little bit. Yeah, I am a little bit, but at the same time, I think
happily surprised.
Happy because I think Graham Potter would have probably took one look at Rafael Leao and thought, yeah, fuck that, playing Aspie against him, running from the box. So, I mean, that's what I thought anyway. So hopefully
that's
that
what I
came
thought
across.
too. Yeah, exactly.
That's what I would have done. So that would have been my fault. Poor Aspie with his legs. But yeah, Chalobah's just a lot fresher and younger. And I think also important if he's going to have a big role now to get him ready almost in a big game is not too bad to introduce him, I guess.
Absolutely. Let's get to one of the men of the match. Now, man of the match is most definitely Reece James, and he will most certainly get the highest rating. But Thiago Silva was absolutely brilliant. Now, the one mistake that Fofana made, Thiago Silva cleaned it up with a beautiful slide tackle. And then in the build-up to Fofana's goal, Thiago Silva had 3 headers, 3 brilliant headers. I mean, Milan, by the way, you need to change your set-piece coach because none of their defenders had any clue where Thiago Silva was on either of them. Like, how can you have 3 corners in a row and each time the same player gets to the end of it? What? That is awful defending. But hey, I'll take it. But yeah, the first header, saved well. Second header, saved well. Third header, saved well and then bounced back and Fofana scores the rebound. So, wow. What player? I'd go quite high for him, you know. I mean, again, they didn't threaten us that much, but that's because we weren't as good as we are. I'm not gonna play along to this like, oh, Milan were just shit. We weren't any good. Nah, sort of. Like, we were good, all right? We are allowed to be happy when we were good. We slay our team so often because we so often don't play well enough. We're also allowed to praise them when we do play well. I was gonna say a 9, bro. Would you go as high as that, or what would you give Thiago Silva?
I would go that, to be honest with you. I thought it was a brilliant performance. It's just Thiago Silva. I don't even need to say anything. It's just Thiago Silva. Like, it just is. He's so composed. It's just the anticipation of you know the passes. There was once or twice where I think Milan tried to play a through ball and he just outstretched and just got the ball, and I was like, easy, just so easy, like for him. Yeah. Like the anticipation of what the other teams do is just his intelligence is just, you know, there's levels to this. Like there's bars and then there's bars up the top, and he's just right up the top of defenders. So. Yeah, there was also that. Who did he tackle in the first half? It might have even been Leao, I think. There was a ridiculous tackle. He's running down the side and he just literally slid in, won the ball clean. And I was just like, easy. Like, it's just light work for him. He's just too good. He's just too good.
He's different, bro. He's different. I know it's only October, so still very early in the season. But it doesn't feel like he's anywhere near like, okay, you know, I mean, losing his legs is maybe the wrong word because he probably already lost them compared to his prime at 27 pace-wise. But as you can see, he doesn't need that maximum pace that he once had to be as good as he is. So unless all of a sudden his body starts failing on him, which it doesn't look like it will, who's to say that he will actually leave at the end of the season? Maybe we will just keep him for another year. I wouldn't be surprised. At the rate he's playing now, why would you ever let him go if you can't convince him to stay?
Yeah, I mean, 100%, bro. I want him here for as long as humanly possible. Like, literally, if he could play until 50, I'd keep him. Like, he's just ridiculous. Obviously, I don't even know. I mean, at the start of this season, I was like, I don't really want him playing as much. I mean, look at him now. He's playing pretty much, well, if not every game, if every other game. So, I mean, I am a little bit concerned now, though.
Like, it will make it even more difficult to give him a rest.
Yeah, that is one thing I'm definitely concerned about. I mean, if you look at our centre backs, I mean, we've not got many, to be honest, bro. So, Yeah, just a shame we can't call Levi Colwill back because I'd want him back now, to be honest with you, or
I
Ampadu or
mean,
anyone.
you never
Like,
know.
yeah, I don't
Our
know, man.
manager
Like,
has
it's
quite
deep.
good connections to Brighton, so
Yeah,
maybe something can be done in January.
I mean it's deep, bro. But yeah, look, I don't want to scare people over Fofana, obviously, so I won't speak on that. But it just doesn't look
Like I
good.
said, I
Like,
still think if we play a back four, we have Koulibaly, we have Thiago Silva, we have Chalobah. Like, I
that's
still
only
think
three
that's
though, bro. Like, one's
it's
38.
true, it's true, of course. But then,
That's
if
worrying,
necessary,
man.
we can switch to a three, play Aspie, play Reece James, play Cucurella centre back. So, like, there are
Yes.
options.
It's not ideal though because we want to really be playing positive attacking football and
Yeah,
to go back to
I
a three
agree.
at
I
the
agree.
back,
It's not ideal 100%, but I think
Yeah.
we can deal with it better than losing Chilwell last season because there the backup was Alonso. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I hope so, man. I hope he's.
Yeah, there you go. But this comment here by Fantasy PGA Tour, because I don't highlight everyone's comments because otherwise it goes crazy. So do drop a super chat if you want to get involved. Like Tuchel Banner, we'll get to yours in just a second. But Fantasy PGA Tour is a member. By the way, if you want to become a member, join button underneath or link down in the description if you're on your phone because on the phone they don't do a join button for some reason. Come on, YouTube, just give the people a join button. Why not? But he says there, in some ways, I think Thiago Silva has exceeded my expectations more than any other signing in our history. And when I read that, I'm like, he might be right, because I can't really think of another signing that really sort of blew my mind and were way better than I ever thought they would be. Maybe Cesc Fabregas. I didn't, for some reason, I didn't think Cesc Fabregas would be as good as he was for us. But Thiago Silva is up there. Is he up there for you, Pice, in terms of exceeded your expectations from what you were hoping for when we signed him?
I mean, I'm gonna say no because I remember one of my tweets. I was like, I thought I was fully on board with this signing. I thought it was very, very
I
good.
was on board too, but I just didn't
I
expect
thought,
this good, basically.
no, I thought he would be very good. I remember when he signed, I was like, I couldn't believe more clubs were after him. Obviously, there was obviously the slight hesitancy because of his age. But yeah, man, like I don't think. I mean, in our history, I'm just trying to think. I think that question would take more of a thinking for me to properly answer.
Yeah,
But
that
for
is
now, I'm
true.
going to say no.
Aspilicueta is a shout for sure.
Yeah, probably. I mean, the thing is with Aspi is like I didn't really,
We didn't know him.
we didn't really know him,
Yeah.
so we didn't really know. Like, I don't think, I think with that question, you're thinking of someone that you probably thought would be quite average or bad, and then they're really, really good. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who that would be, to be honest with you. But yeah,
I don't
not,
really
not
know.
quite
I
sure.
can't. It's not really that.
Yeah, there's not many really, is there?
For me, Giroud.
Yeah, Giroud.
I
Giroud
didn't
could
think
be
he
a
was
good
as
shout.
good as some other people thought he was, but
Yeah, because I remember at the time with Giroud, it was like, everyone was annoyed about them getting Aubameyang, obviously, and we was like, oh, Giroud really just target man. Yeah, I'd probably say Giroud for what he achieved there, but again, I'd need to think more.
Kovacic, Willian.
Yeah, Kovacic, another one who was a bit, people like.
You know what? Now,
I don't know.
Juan Mata was way better than I ever thought he would be. And he was a superstar until Jose came and ruined it. But
Yeah, Mata was insane. I was going to say Matic as well. Matic was a very, very good one.
Matic is a shout. Considering we got him back from Benfica, he was better than I expected. True, yeah. Let's not get
really
too hung up on this question, but Thiago Silva is up there, shall we say. Even if he's maybe not the highest one, he's certainly up there. Let's get to Koulibaly. I touched on it already earlier. 3 fouls in the first 3 minutes. Now, okay, one of them was a foul together with Mason Mount. I'm not sure who actually committed the foul in the end. I think they both fouled the guy. So to me, it's 3 fouls in 3 minutes. So I'm like, bro, calm the flip down. And then he what was it? He basically just got dispossessed near the sidelines. I was like, what are you doing, bro? But then as the longer the game went on, the more calm and collected he got. Defensive positioning good, passing good. There was one run, when he ran up the pitch doing a vertigo quite late in the game. So in the end, he caught himself, but I still think he started very sloppily. So I'm not sure what rating to give that. I was thinking like 6.5. I don't think he was overall as good as Chalobah, I would say. But what would you think, Pice?
Yeah, I was going to say 6.5 as well. I think I'm between that rating. I don't think it wasn't as good as the others, but I think he was better as the game went on. I mean, I don't know. I appreciate the effort and the intensity he put at the start, but I mean that's just, you know what I mean. It felt a bit like the Leeds game where he was just going absolutely bonkers at players, and I was like, my brother said he's getting sent off this game if he keeps playing like that because it was just reckless. It was like it was just over rash. But yeah, I think he grew into the game, and I'd go 6.5. Don't really have much to say, to be honest. thought he was just all right, to be fair. Not too bad.
Exactly. I think other than the first 10 minutes, there wasn't that much to say about him. After that, it was just good, not much to shout home about, but also not much to criticize. Tuchel super chat from earlier. I didn't forget, don't worry. And to be fair, you did tell us yesterday Potter was going to lay the pipe. And so he did. Potter's magical blues are back. I mean, Tuchel, we had the tricky blues. Now Potter, nothing other than magical blues suits, really, does it? Wonderful. One other thing I like, Potter's spellbinding blues. I like that one as well. But yeah, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I'm a huge fan. And Tuchel, appreciate the donation. Appreciate it very, very much. Let's get to those fullbacks then. Let's do Ben Chilwell. Now, for me, one of two players that weren't good today. That's were all good to very good. But he wasn't great. Now, he wasn't awful, but he wasn't great. And there was a lot of times when he received the ball and he just played it into no man's land. Whether it was right foot or left foot, he played high balls to no one. Like, I'm like, okay, if this happens once or twice, maybe there's miscommunication. Maybe a striker should have made that run and he didn't, and you just assumed he would because that's what you spoke about pre-game. Make those runs when the wingbacks get the ball, blah, blah, blah. But it happens so many times. I'm like, I know you had the knee injury, but you didn't injure your eyes, man. So why do you keep passing them when there's no teammates? So stop doing that. But he wasn't awful. He wasn't awful. Would you go below 6 for him? I was probably going to go 5, but what would you go, Pice?
I was going to go 6, to be fair. I didn't think he was awful. I didn't think he was below average. I thought he was just average. But I'm also going to cut him some slack because, again, I did say last stream, I think, maybe I was going to be a bit harsh on him, but I think one of you guys said on the last player rating stream that, he kind of needs to run a games to get back into things. And to be fair, I did think tonight, though, I thought he had a bit more intensity about him going forward.
I agree with this.
I thought he was a bit more lively tonight, so I'm going to go wing 6.
Back compared to left back against Palace, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to go 6 for Chilwell.
You know what? I'm going to give you it. Let's not faff about too much and give 5.5s out. My low rating will be saved for one player, which makes me feel bad for the one player, but hey, here we are. Fair enough. Reece James. Now, did he do enough to get a 10? I'm gonna say no because the one time Leo dribble past him was a bit too easy for my personal preference. And if I'm going to put him out there as the best right back in the world, then I have to be critical. Hence why I'm going to give him a 9.5. Price 9.5, 10. What are you feeling?
I want to go 10, but I mean, I don't know. It was pretty much the complete performance.
Other than that one moment, he was perfect.
Yeah, and the one moment as well, I think he headed out for a corner right at the end. I mean, we're scratching at things here. Maybe like a 9.9.5 or something, if that's even possible. I don't even fucking know. Yeah, like a 9.9, just a little smithering off because he got beat once, I reckon. But, I mean, it could easily be a 10, let's be honest. He was just unbelievable tonight.
Fair enough. I mean, a couple of people in the chat saying can't be giving 10s out, can hand a 10 out if you have a game like Haaland did in the Premier League last week. And I'm like, well, fair, Mikey, but Reece James is a right wing back, not a striker. So surely you can't apply the same logic, right, for a right wing back and a striker. I'm going to stick to my 9.5, but we definitely could also give him the 10 if we wanted to be super nice. But I know that there is more in Reece James than he did today, as crazy good as he was today already. So I'm like, he will get 10s, but let's save them, I would say. Let's save them. I'm not sure between Kova and Ruben, which one of the two was more defensive. I think they kind of interchanged nicely. Once Ruben pushed and Kova stayed, at some points Ruben stayed and Kova pushed. I thought it worked quite well. I thought it worked better than I expected it to work, other than the first 10 minutes where we had no control of the game at all. Before we do them individually, did you think that combination worked today, bro?
Yeah, I thought Ruben was probably a little bit better. I just think I think Kovacic started the game better, but I think Ruben was just all around quite better. And I think the combination, yeah, like you said, worked really nicely. I was a bit worried about that midfield. I thought we might get sliced open. I think a lot of people were hyping that Benacer guy, but I mean, in actual reality, I think AC Milan's both of their midfielders, Tonali and Benacer, and I think they had another one who missed the tap, and I forgot his name, but Krujic or something like that. I don't know what his name is, but yeah, they sat really deep. So I think that gave Kovacic and Ruben a lot of time on the ball, and that was nice how they could interchange, and one would sit, one would go forward. So actually, I thought it worked well tonight. Maybe it won't work against other oppositions, but with
No.
the way the game panned out, I think, yeah, pretty decent. I also think they had to be almost like extra aware defensively because AC Milan had so much of the ball in the first half. So I think that helped them out as well. That we didn't get caught out too much, and they could kind of like grow into the game that way, straight from the off. And yeah, I thought they both were pretty good.
Yeah, there you go. I do agree. I do agree. I think it worked nicely. And I probably agree. At the start, I thought Kova looked a bit more settled, and then as the game went on, Ruben did today what I wasn't sure he can do, because we all know he has this physical presence. But what I always felt, he struggled to impose his physical presence as a central midfielder. Like, he could do it in offensive ways, impose his physique, but in defensive situations, in just positional situations, off the ball situations, I thought he always struggled with that a little bit. And I think the last few months under Thomas Tuchel, and now also seemingly today, he got a lot better at that. And I'm very happy about it. Might as well do Ruben first. I also saw on my coverage where I saw the game, at the very end, they showed like distances covered. And Ruben actually covered the most distances of all Chelsea players today. So the two highest were Tonali and Dest. And then it was Ruben, Chilwell, and then three more Milan players, then Koulibaly, James, and Mason Mount. So also most distance covered. Now, officially, at least according to Footmob, they actually gave him the assist for the Fofana goal. I think that's being a bit kind, but I suppose if it counts, it counts. I think he was very good today. I would personally probably give him an 8. Would you go as high as that, or would you maybe leave it at maybe a 7, 7.5?
No, I would go an 8. I would go an 8, to be honest with you. I think he deserves it. I think because as well, everyone was kind of sort of not skeptical, but like just in general, I don't know with Ruben. Like, I think when he plays really well, he like deserves the praise. So I would go 8, and I think that midfield playing against the AC Milan midfield and the team, and it's just nice to see that we can still rely on him. Obviously, the big thing with Ruben is consistency, and I hope he can. And if Ruben gets like a game, the problem is as well is obviously he doesn't start all the time, so it's kind of hard. But if he can come into the team, start, and just pretty much 3 out of 4 games say he starts or whatever, that he does start at least. If he can play well for those games, brilliant. Like, yeah, I mean, fantastic. I thought he controlled the ball really well. He went on some good runs, and he's just that physical presence that we lack in that midfield. So I think it's nice having that profile in there, even if it's not a defensive one. So yeah, in a game like today, I think it's really important as well. I think he was linking down well with that right hand side as well, quite a lot.
Would you agree with what I said, that he seems to be getting better at actually using his physique in defensive situations better? Because he was always big and strong, but I feel like he still not got muscled off the ball, but he didn't manage to get himself into positions where he could actually show how strong he is in defensive situations. Because he wasn't always positionally correct, and if you're out of position, you can't use your strength. But I feel like he's getting better at that as a midfielder now.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't notice too much of that tonight. I noticed it more going forward, but yeah.
Fair dues. Kovacic then, I also thought was good. Now, he had one really bad pass early in the game where I think Sterling was screaming for it. And I think Sterling just kind of roped Kovacic into it. I don't think Kovacic ever wanted to play that pass, but Sterling was screaming over it so hard that he played it and it got easily intercepted. And I was like, fuck's sake, Kovacic. But in general, I thought a good performance. I'm not sure, like 7, 7.5, somewhere like that. I thought it was decent. I thought it was good that he got subbed off, especially with Georgie not being fully fit and Kante obviously not being fit. It's important that Koba didn't unnecessarily play full 90s and stuff again, which like you touched on it earlier already. Good substitutions today. What rating would you give Koba? How I guess close to Ruben did you think it was?
I'd probably go 7.5. Looking at some 7s, Kepa, Chilwell 6. Yeah, I'd go 7.5 to be fair. Just because I think they deserve that praise tonight, because everyone, including myself, was a bit worried that we'd get dominated in midfield. But I think we did really well. Both of them did, to be fair, especially because they had a 3-man midfield, and we only had 2. So, and Mount to me wasn't really dropping back too much. from what I was seeing. So
No.
yeah, I'd give him a 7.5.
Okay, I'd probably go 7 myself, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, and I might as well use this situation and ask the chat. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will put a poll in the chat. What the flip happened here? I didn't open Google Support. Why did Google Support open? Anyway, rating out of 10. And you will get basically the option between 7 and 7.5. And I will also say, actually, Price, I will lower my Chile rating because I don't think Mount deserves anything much higher than a 6, but I still think he was better than Chilwell. So I need to do something about that, basically, is what I'm saying. So I will lower my Chile rating. I will give him actually a 5. I think it was still not bad. But I'm like, if I compare him to a lot of the other players, he was, in my opinion, a good step below all of them, other than one. And yeah, so hence why in the end it's done a 5.5. Just because I feel like, yeah. Do you see what I mean? I mean, we'll get to him now, Mason Mount. I would give him a 6. Would you give him a 6? And if you would also give him a 6, did you still think it was better than Chilwell, or do you disagree with me on that?
I think he was quite good tonight, to be honest, bro. I think he was much better than what he's definitely played. I was going to give him a 7. I thought certain moments, I think on the ball, I think he could have scored a couple of goals. One was blocked. Obviously, he did score a goal, which was offside. I think just his general play tonight on the ball was much better than what we've seen. Really liked his pressing. Just seemed much more like the Mason Mount we know tonight. So I would give him a 7. I saw a lot of tweets on Twitter saying he was being quality as well. So it's nice to know that my opinion was backed up there. But interesting that you don't think he was that good. But yeah, I'd go 7.
I mean, I get no, he was good. He was good. I'm not trying to take anything away from him either. Yeah.
Didn't he have a couple of? Didn't he have? I swear there was one pass where he should have got an assist. I'm trying to think. Sure, that was Mason Mount.
Did he play the through ball to Sterling, maybe?
It must have been, yeah. Because I remember it, and I definitely saw on Twitter as well that he should have had an assist. I think so. Maybe it was Mount.
It might have been.
Yeah.
J Cam, you're just a hater. Mount offered nothing. my guy had 2 absolute great strikes, getting us closer to goal than anyone that didn't actually score. So, a little bit confused by you. But but I still think Chile wasn't a 6. But you know what? I'll give you the 7 for Mason. I'd go 7 rather than 10.5, but maybe I'll go 6.5. But you know what? I'm being complicated. I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Give Chile the 6. Give Mount the 7. Who cares? I'm not that fast. So far, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, place your vote in the poll in the chat for Kovacic rated between 7 and 7.5. So far, after only 55 votes, to be fair, but get involved, ladies and gentlemen. 7 is winning with 54% to 46%, but that might still change by the time we get there. But yeah, I mean, Mason, that first shot we had on the first attack that we had, now Aubameyang did underhit the pass a little bit, making it a bit more tricky for Mason, but still the finish was good save. Then the blocked shot, you talked about it, the offside goal was a great finish. Yeah, it was clearly offside, but still, great finish. Good. Yeah, like I say, I'm somewhere between 6.5 and 7, so I'm happy with that. I'm a little bit like, don't put him in the front 3 again, because of people now, number one, him not playing in the front 3 anymore will affect his goal contributions, because people compare it to last season. I'm like, well, last season was in the front 3 every game, basically. This season, if he's more regularly not going to be in that situation, then of course his especially goal numbers will be a little bit lower. You'd expect so. But today he seems more comfortable with that. I still think other positions suit him better long term, but he's played this position essentially, whether it's on the left or the right, in a 3-4-3 for 1.5 years, essentially. So, of course, he's going to be more comfortable with that than in the other position, which he hasn't played regularly. Right, Bryce?
Yeah, 100%. I do agree with you. Yeah, nothing really more to add, especially with the front 3 thing. I do agree, yeah.
First. Raheem Sterling then. Now, I might have gone a bit overboard with what I said in the group chat, but I still was not happy with him. I wasn't happy with him against Palace. I wasn't happy with him today. I tweeted, like, where's that City pace gone that Sterling had? Your expert replied, well, he's still there, but just the AC Milan defenders are also really quick. I'm like, okay. But shouldn't he know that the AC Milan defenders are really quick, meaning he doesn't have endless amounts of time always on the ball? Like, shoot, pass, do something. But he just wasn't really doing anything. today. Like, I was very, very disappointed. I thought it was really poor, frankly. I know you didn't think he was really poor. I know he got the assist for Reece James in the end. It's a 3-yard pass, man. It's a 3-yard pass. Anyone that doesn't make that should be sold immediately because it's such an easy pass. But still, hey, in the end, let me not be too harsh. It's still an assist, so fair play. Nice, good. But I still think he was poor, man. I'm not sure. Now, on the weekend, I gave him a 4. We gave him as a unit. We gave him a 4 in the end. Did I think he was worse than that? Probably, but he still got an assist. So I'm going to give him a 4 again. Pice, I know you're going to go higher, and that's okay. But how much higher are you going to go, and where do you really disagree with me, I suppose?
I don't know. When I watch him, I mean, it was a couple of. I think he was a little bit wasteful, but I don't think he was like 4. Like, I don't think he had a poor game for me. I thought he was always involved. I felt like he won quite a few fouls as well. There was one where he turned on the halfway line, I think. Brilliant. There was another one, by the way. Pretty sure he should have gone down. He was through on goal, and the guy was tagging his shoulder. And I think I don't know what was given offside. He was clean through. I don't know what they gave, but yeah, I think he should have gone down there because I think that should have been a red card personally. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to give him a 6.5 to be honest, Laurenz. I don't think he was. Don't think he was awful. I don't think he was average. I thought he was a little bit above average. He's not top level yet, but I thought he impacted the game. I thought he played well with Reece James. Yeah, he was a little bit wasteful, but I don't think there's a need to be too harsh on him tonight. Personally, the only thing the thing I was going to say as well was, I know I've said Sterling can play on the right, but again, I much prefer him on the left hand side. So I think that makes a difference as well. I don't think he enjoys playing primarily on the right, in my opinion. Anyway, I'm not sure why Graham Potter's doing it for the last 2 games, but. Yeah, especially when you saw against Salzburg the goal off the left hand side. Like, you can't do that on the right. On the right, it just takes away his goal threat, in my opinion. His goals have always come from the left, so why are you playing him on the right? That's the only thing I didn't like about Graham Potter tonight.
Yeah, and while I hear that, I'm confused as well why Man played on the left and Sterling on the right. I don't know. He didn't even attempt to dribble. Apparently, no shots. He had 0 out of 3 crosses were accurate, and all 3 of them, by the way, hit the first man. The decision making was just so poor. I thought, like, possession lost 12 times. Okay, I personally don't want to make too much out of that one. Okay, maybe I'm going a bit too harsh. Could well be, but yeah, I just really wasn't impressed. I'll give him a 5.5 because 4 and 6.5 would be anywhere between. But given the higher one, maybe I'm too harsh. But yeah, I just think I need more, and he's too good of a player for me. Like, because the problems that he's having aren't to do with playing on the left or on the right. He's just taking too long on the ball every time, whether it's to pass or to shoot. It doesn't matter. He just takes too long every time. I'm like, bro, you came from Pep Guardiola. How the flip are you the guy that keeps the ball for too long? I don't understand this at all. I am super confused, honestly, baffled. But hey, here we are. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Now, on Saturday, I said he scored, but I didn't think he was that good. Today, he scored, and I thought it was good. I was happy with that. Movement, passes, Now, Tomori had an absolute stinker on that Aubameyang goal, but I'll take it. We'll take it. Tomori also tried to step on everyone's legs. He fouled Reece James. He fouled Ruben. I'm like, can you stop stepping on our players' legs, bro? But yeah, Aubameyang, I was happy with him. Got a goal. If Mount gets a 7, Aubameyang gets a 7.5, or would you go as high as an 8? I probably just about wouldn't, but maybe you would, bro.
Nah, I probably wouldn't. I would go for 7.5 like you. I mean, he's doing his job, right? He scored 2 and 2. That's what we need. He was in the right position. I just feel like we can do more. Like, I hope we create more chances for him as well, because I mean, he's hardly getting any chances and he's still scoring. So it's quite impressive, to be honest with you. So yeah, hopefully going forward, like, I want to see a game where he has like 3 big chances. Because I want to see then, does he score 1? Does he score 2? Or does he even score 3? You know what I mean? Like, I want to see that. Because I do still think he's a clinical striker. I know he missed chances at Arsenal. There was games where, he scored 1, but he missed like 3. But there was other games where he'd have 3 chances, score 3 goals. So,
yeah.
I want to see us create more, man.
If you're not Haaland, Messi, Ronaldo, even the best strikers aren't going to score every chance every game, to be fair. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. But, like, I feel like when I watch this, I feel like still he's living off scraps a little bit. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe it was,
even though we scored 3 goals today, our performance wasn't exactly attack heavy today, was it?
no, I think that's what I was alluding to at the start of the stream, was like, we wasn't really in like full on gear
Yeah.
one, like, you know what I mean? Just going crazy attacking. So, I mean, what you could say is the pass was fucking amazing to Mason Mount. Like, I didn't realize he had this in his locker, by the way. I didn't think he was. And actually, that was a good point to bring up because I noticed it against Crystal Palace as well. And an Arsenal account actually messaged me and he linked the comp from Aubameyang for Crystal Palace, and he said, like, bloody hell, why is he dropping deep for you and actually like passing and linking up and stuff? Like, for Arsenal, he used to just stand up front and wait for the ball in front of the goal. And I was like, that's true. I've never seen him
That's why
do that.
Arsenal never even made top 4 when he was there, because you
I was
can't
like,
have a striker just stand around. That's
Yeah,
what we have with Lukaku. We don't want that.
but I like that, and I hope that's a Graham Potter instruction. I hope
yeah,
it
yeah,
is. Because, like, you know,
Being
I don't
involved
want that
in
to.
it.
Yeah, I don't want that to fade out because I'm quite liking him. You know, not being like a Kai Havertz false nine, but yeah, he's
No.
dropping deep
I
today.
like
I
his
was like,
touches.
oh,
I think the most
yeah,
what's impressed me the most so far with him is his touches. I've not really seen him have a bad touch, and that's good. You know,
yeah.
I mean, I'm used to Timo Werner and Romelu Lukaku, so you know, there's miles different. But yeah, you know, no criticism from me today. 2-2. You can't complain. That's what
Exactly.
it's supposed to do.
Like what you said there about Lukaku. Like, how many games? All he did was just stand up front. He never used to get involved. You know what I mean? Like, at least
Exactly.
Aubameyang's making that effort too.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right then. I'm still going to give the people a little bit of time to finalize their decision on the Kovacic rating. Again, ladies and gentlemen, please place your vote in the poll. That's at the top of the chat if you can't find it for some reason. But let's get to the subs. Now, what was the first sub? Of course, Chalobah coming on for the injured Fofana in the first half. Then we made a double substitution, which was Gallagher and Jorginho coming on for Kovacic and Aubameyang, wasn't it? And I was like a bit confused, like, sorry, and who's playing up front now? Right, it was that, wasn't it? And then it was basically Sterling and Gallagher up front, and then Mount dropped into midfield a bit more, I think.
Yeah, and Broja, I think as well. He came.
Yeah,
on,
and then
didn't he?
Broja was the second set of subs then, with Broja and who's the other one?
I mean, I got who came on?
We made 2 double subs, didn't we?
I feel like I'm forgetting someone there. We are forgetting someone, aren't we? No, I don't think we are. Broja, Gallagher, Jorginho.
Oh, Kali came on, of course.
Kai Havertz, yeah. We are forgetting someone, yeah. Yeah,
So
he came
then
on.
I guess
Havertz was like a kind of like a 10 slash on the left, I think.
yeah,
Quite a
yeah,
lot. 'Cause he was linking down that side with Chilwell. That's where I mainly noticed him.
yeah. No, I agree. I mean, that's not too much to say in any of them, if I'm being perfectly honest. But none of them did badly. All of them did reasonably good, but obviously by the time we made all of those subs, we were 3-0 up. So the game was done. AC Milan were taking Leao off, Giroud off. Like, they were taking all of their players off because they've got Juve on the weekend. And obviously they knew they had lost by 3-0. And then we also knew we had won by 3-0. So then we rested some players. So do we give all of them an NA, or is there anything you want to say about any of them and rate about any of them?
I'm not going to say I was a bit disappointed with Broja, but I was expecting a little bit more. I don't know, that one time where he got on the ball, I always felt like he ran in slow motion. When he ran and then he played it out to the left, I was like, I don't know, go for it. I think he made one good run down the side from the throw, but other than that, I don't know. Like, I just feel like you need to make more. It's hard, obviously, because we was
Especially
in
at 3-0 up, right? Because
yeah,
no
we
one
was in
really was
fourth gear by
chasing it
then.
anymore. So it's
Yeah,
I always
I don't
find
know
it really
whether-
difficult for subs if they come on at clearly won the game already. It seems like subs never do anything particularly special because everyone just is there to see out the game, I guess. So if you're an attacker, what you're going to do, I guess. But I hear you to some
I
extent.
was a bit disappointed as well. Pulisic didn't come on tonight. I feel like he deserved it after last week as well, to be fair.
That's true. Especially if Kai had a bit of a knock anyway. Surely which Potter said in the press conference yesterday. So surely then might as well bring Pulisic on. I mean, I thought Pulisic could have even started potentially. He didn't, and we won the game 3-0, so I'm not going to complain about anything.
The only thing I was going to say is, people will call me a Gallagher hater, but he just looks so awkward on the ball every time he got it. I don't know. Yeah, that was the only thing I really noticed from the subs. I was like, oh god, I don't know about this. And I don't know where on earth he was playing. He was just running round.
Yeah,
But
second
fair enough.
strike and midfield. God knows what it was.
Yeah,
I think Jorginho is the only one I'm going to really give a rate because the others were all attackers and we weren't really attempting to attack anymore after 3-0. So I'm going to give Georgie a 7 with a star. I think that's reasonable. And the other ones I would give an NA. Would you go along with that, bro?
Yeah, probably. Actually, no, I'm going to give Jorginho a 6, to be honest with you. I don't think he did much. And he also got booked. So I'm going to give him a 6.
He did get booked, to be fair. That may be true. All right, 6.5. Fair enough. I'll let you have it. How are we looking with this poll, by the way? We have a fair few votes and it's still very close, but unfortunately for you, bro, Kovacic to 7 is still winning just by a little bit, 54 to 46, but still edging it, unfortunately. So let's give him that 7, unless, ladies and gentlemen, so many more of you get involved in the chat that it sways that. But for now, let's put that 7 up on screen. And to be honest, we're nearing the end, especially when it's only 2 and we have less to criticize. These are always done a little bit quicker, but I don't think we're complaining, But we still have one thing to do. With the 5 subs thing, I still don't really want to do performance just because all of a sudden we have a bit more time than usual. But we do still need to give Graham Potter a rating. His 3rd game in charge of Chelsea, 2nd ever Champions League game. Well, you can certainly say it's been an upward trajectory, right? First game 1-0, second game 2-1, third game 3-0. What's going to happen on the weekend? 4-0. I mean, I'm hyped. But yeah, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy. I would love him to be a bit more energetic or engaging on the sideline. Just for me, just purely from a fan perspective. I'm not judging him on that at all. Just purely as a fan, I like my manager to be like proper into it. Do you know what I mean? And that's not him. He's a calm guy.
To be fair, his celebrations, he did a little bit of a, arms up in the air kind of.
Yeah, true. With Anthony Barry, they're like, these men know each other for a month, and they were hugging out as if they've been best mates since they were 2.
I do agree. I like to see that, man. Like when we win, even during the game when we score, I like to see. Not like the thing I've noticed lately is like I saw someone on Twitter the other day. Conte goes mental after every single goal, doesn't he? And a Spurs fan was like, "Oh, I love this from Conte," and then a Chelsea fan just put, "Mate, he does this at every single club. Like it's not even passion anymore. It's just him being like attention seeker almost, like for the cameras. I swear." But
do you think it's that, or do you think he just gets so into it no matter which his club is, right? But it's
I don't know.
Really club related. Why he's so happy?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just he can go from like that to we need a whole squad of new players in like 10 minutes. It's hilarious, but that just popped into my head when we was talking about.
I will always remember. I'm sure you remember as well at the Euros, 2016 when he was Italy manager.
He jumped on the fucking thing, didn't he? Yeah.
The bench thing. Like, it was hilarious. And my guy climbed the whole thing. It was funny. Someone in the chat said Potter got to be a 10 today. Would you go along with that?
I mean, what did he do wrong? To be fair, I mean, the team played pretty well. The subs were good. What did he do wrong? I think we give Tuchel 10s before, so I mean, why not? For me though, actually, I'm gonna go for like a 9.5 because I didn't like Sterling playing on the right. I feel like he should play on the left. I was looking forward to him running.
Now you're being harsh.
I'm sorry. I do. No, man, come on.
Like where the guy played. So...
Best is not good. Best is not good at defending. Like, have Sterling run at him. Like, I don't want Sterling to start becoming a scapegoat because he's playing on the right. Like, yeah, he can play both wings, but he's a fucking left-sided guy, man. Like,
but Mount was better on the left, man. So maybe he needs it as well. Who knows?
I think fair enough.
Mount played on the left a few times already.
Like, if you've got like Pulisic, maybe fair enough because he's a left winger. Yeah. But Mount, like, really, like, is Mount worth sacrifice? Like, is Sterling worth sacrificing so Mount can play there? Like, I just didn't. Yeah, 9.5. Sorry.
No, it's fair. You know what? Because I think both have merit. Giving him the 10, but also being a little bit harsh and saying 9 or 9.5. It's also not too far out of this world. So you know what, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat, I will give you 3 options: 9, 9.5, and 10. And you can vote, and I'll give my opinion in a second as well. Because I don't really mind which one of those, what the exact number in the end is. I don't think that's the almost too relevant part. I think what matters is that he did a good job today. Picked a good team. Now, maybe would I have played a Pulisic in somewhere? Would I have played I don't know, would I have done the Sterling and left wing back thing? Maybe. But in the end, we won 3-0. So what the flip is there to complain about? He took all the players off to play regularly, like Sterling, Aubameyang, Kovacic, Mount. The players that play all the time were all subbed off to be rested. Fantastic. That's exactly what I want to see. The only guy that wasn't was Reece James, I guess, and obviously the centre-backs. But centre-backs run less anyway. I like the fact that he didn't all of a sudden throw Mendy back in, because Tuchel most certainly would have done today. And he just stuck with Kepa and it worked. Happy, brilliant. Ruben seems to, like, I mean, in a double pivot, we've very rarely seen him play as well as he did today. No, sure, maybe Milan weren't great and maybe it would have struggled more against different opposition. Maybe so, but it worked today. And I'm very happy about that. I'm very happy about that. So, yeah, I mean, for me, I'd give him a 10. You know, I'd give him a 10. I don't want to be too harsh. But, ladies and gentlemen, like I say, place your vote in the poll. So far, we have only 24 votes. So get involved in that. It's just one click of a button, isn't it? So place your vote. So far, the 9 is winning ahead of 9.5 and 10. So people thinking I'm going a bit overboard, and even thinking you're going a bit overboard. But I'll give them a few more minutes while we round this one out. But you know what? Yeah. 10 just for not bringing Aspie on for Fofana. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Let's give him a 9.5, you know, because I'm sure there's going to be days where I'm like, yeah, you really deserve a 10 today. And today I'm like, yeah, you could give him a 10, but you don't have to. And so one day there will be a day where I'm like, Potter is a 10 and nothing else. So maybe we'll keep it for that one. But I'll give you, ladies and gentlemen, still a little bit more time to decide. Pies, before we finish this one off here, how do you feel now? Like, do you think these 2 wins have really put us into a much better step, or are we still kind of, okay, almost we have to see on a game-to-game basis how good or how bad we are type thing?
Yeah, 100%. I'm the second one. We have to see. We've had good results before, and then, you know, the next game we're like, right, so we can beat that team, but we don't beat this team. Or we play well against a better team, but we don't play well against this team. So, I mean, look, we got Wolves at the weekend. If we can have another solid performance where we win by 2 or 3 goals, 2-0 or something, perfect. Keep a clean sheet, keep the confidence going. That's the problem with Chelsea, especially under Tuchel. The last few months, we was too sort of draw here, win here, lost there, lost, draw, win. You know what I mean? It was all over the place, to be honest. So if we can get like even like a 2-3 game, I mean 2-game win now, 2 games where we've won now, so that's good. But yeah, look, keep building. We've got Wolves, and then have we got Milan straight after that again? I think we might do.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Wolves and then Milan away.
So
and
look,
I'm going to Milan away. So
yeah, I mean, look, Milan away. Fair enough if we don't win, but if we win, that'd be brilliant.
I battered them today. I want to batter them
again. I don't know, man. San Siro is just like that's just my mindset coming in. Like, I feel like it'll be a really difficult game, especially because we beat them now. I feel like they're going to be almost the opposite of today. Maybe they'll have injuries back, but yeah, just keep a run going. We'll see by game to game basis. That, you know, let's see who performs. Let's see if the football is improving as well, because again, Crystal Palace was a horrible game. Today was a bit better. Wolves again, I want to see some nice passages of play.
It's Wolves though, so I'm not expecting too much because they would park that bus.
Yeah, but like that's why we've got Graham Potter in though, right? It's because we want to play more attacking, we want to play quicker, we want to just score more goals. So again, he's been brought in to do this against these type of sides. So yeah, and let's see what happens with Wolves as well, because they've not got a new manager yet. It seems like they've got their staff on the bench at the weekend, so that can go one or two ways. They can either play for him, or that can just go to shit, and they won't care until the new manager comes. So let's see how that does.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sevilla have actually sacked their manager, Julian Lopetegui, now officially, because they lost, 4 or 5-1 to Dortmund today. They lost on the weekend as well. And they're like, before the weekend, they were like, what's the word? They were already like 15th. So, and then they lost. So I'm not sure where they are in the league now. And apparently Wolves are going to get him. I think he's a good manager. Obviously, I don't follow Sevilla, so I have no idea what's going on there and if that's his fault for them being so bad or not. And don't know. But good manager, I think. I find it fun and exciting that he's going to come to the Premier League. But hopefully he's not in charge before the weekend, because they don't need manager bounce from Wolves, really. Like, if it's the staff, I don't think that really gives you manager bounce. So that's okay. But don't be having a new manager by Saturday, please. And Aaron, appreciate you. Go on.
I was going to say, do you remember when I mean, maybe it's not the same situation, but do you remember when Duncan Ferguson managed Everton and we was like, oh, easy battering, and they just destroyed us because they played for him, and I was like, I hope they don't have this. I don't know how big of a connection they have to their staff,
true,
but
that's
you know
true.
what I mean. So I hope they just don't, just because Larg's gone, I don't think that a lot of them, liked Bruno Larg towards the end. Someone who's a Wolves account, I messaged quite a bit, so yeah.
There you go. Fair play. Aaron, no, appreciate you. I shouted you out at the very beginning. Obviously, you didn't hear it because you was at the game, but shouted you at the very beginning for the correct prediction. Fair play to you. Hope you had a great time. I'm sure you did. In the Fantasy PGA Tour, don't let other people's opinion get into your head too much. It's just people's opinion. People can have opinions without being bad people. Bad opinions without being bad people. So let people be. As long as they don't insult you, as long as they don't insult anyone. Who cares, man? Let them love Pulisic if they want to love Pulisic. If it makes them happy, let them do it. We love Chelsea, and some Spurs fans don't, and they think they are flipping mental for supporting Chelsea. Hey, well, still a friend of mine is a Spurs fan, which is fun to take the piss out of him, but still doesn't make me not be his friend. Do you know what I mean? So just in life in general, ladies and gentlemen, just take it easy. It's fine. Just people's opinion. Doesn't matter that much, does it? But after a fair few more votes, still, the 9 rating for Potter is actually winning by quite a little bit, 43% on that. 9.5 is on 30%, and 10 is on 29%. Well, now also the 9.5 is on 29%. So I guess, Thijs, I gave the people the option. So now we kind of have to stick by it. So Graham Potter's getting a 9. Sorry, Graham. But Potter's Magical Blues are back, and I'm very, very happy. I'm very happy, and we needed that so much, a good win, especially for the Champions League group. If we lost today, we were not 100% done, but basically out of the Champions League. Obviously could have still gone Europa League, but basically would have been out. So today was huge, and on a huge day to win 3-0 is good, right?
Very good. Chelsea clutch up when we need them, bro. A lot of the times. I think we forget that sometimes, The big games, we usually do play well. And I'm just happy because we've got a new manager now. And it's like the first few games, ideally you want to go well. Because if they don't, it's like a bit of a, people go back to talking about Tuchel again. And as much as I miss Tuchel, and I really, really do, I keep seeing videos still and just, yeah, I do miss him, but it's good to get behind the new manager and see that, see reasons to be excited. You know what I mean? Like today, we score 3 goals. I think, again, as much as I love Tuchel, I think I read a stat that today is the first time we've won at home by 2 or more goals in 8 months or something. I think it was
since March, since we beat Lille 3-0
Lille, February or March. So yeah, I mean, look, that just goes to show how shit we've been at home.
But are you sure this has only been at home? Did we win by more than 2 goals away anywhere?
Yeah, I think it was. I think we have away, but I think at home it was the start.
I can't remember it away either, to be honest. But it could still be right, of course. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, I think because it's just been myself and Pies today, we'll try to get more people on other streams. It's just people are busy, especially the midweek games. A lot of people are from work in the morning, so from my time it's now midnight. For Pies it's 11:30. So people have early mornings. Of course, they can't just sit here for an hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes after games in midweek. But I do my best. I appreciate Pies very much for being here basically all the time. So I appreciate it very much. Big shout out to Pies. Please do check out his website, chelseafc365.com. It's honestly a good website. A lot of articles left, right, and center about all sorts of different Chelsea-related things. So please do check it out. Follow him on Twitter as well. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to round this one out. Thank you guys for watching. Up the Chelsea. Upwards and onwards. What a day. And we'll see you. I bring my own outro. And I'll see you next time.
2 times in a row.
Yeah.